everyone, I'm Leighann if you don't know me, and if you do and you're back, I appreciate it. Today we are doing a makeup look, a summer makeup look, a sweat-proof, heat-proof, hot girl summer look, okay? There, I said it. Tonight I'm going to a dinner with my husband, with the people he works with, because they're interviewing someone, and it's like that's the least hot girl summer thing that one could possibly do. But that's where I'm wearing this makeup, but this is also basically like my everyday makeup. I live in Dallas, Texas. It is very warm. Before that, I lived in Houston, Texas. It's just like hot girl year-round life, you know? I've been preparing for this moment forever. A lot of you guys on Instagram said that you really did want to see my everyday summer heat-proof kind of makeup. I am here to help you if you have problems keeping makeup on your face in the summer months when you're trying to be careless and have a good time. I understand you. I'm here for you. Let's do some makeup. First up, what is on my skin already? I have a vitamin C serum, the Fluoric, okay, SkinCeuticals Vitamin C Serum. Then I have the CeraVe Facial Moisturizing Lotion, wow, I cannot speak today, lotion, ultra lightweight PM, and I like that because I have oily skin and it's like a gel-like lotion. It's moisturizing, it's good, it's simple, it doesn't feel heavy, I love it. And next up for my SPF, I have the Supergoop Smooth and Poreless SPF 40. It's a 100% mineral matte sunscreen. I have oily skin, it's important for me to find SPFs that don't make me oilier. If you're putting makeup on your face and you're going out and you're hoping it doesn't break down and you do all these steps and everything, you have to consider your skincare first. So these are products that I love and I would recommend to anybody. I also have a full skincare video. If you want to check that out, I'll put it in the description. Okay, for makeup, for my primer, first up, I've got the Makeup Forever Step 1 Smoothing Primer. I like this. I don't think it works miracles, but I do have pores. I do have texture all over the place, but mostly like right here, you know, the usual places. My hair is already betraying me. Okay, well, looks like that's the best I can do. It's not very good, but it's what I've got to offer. Next up for my corrector, I'm using the good old Urban Decay Naked Skin Color Correcting Fluid in the color Peach. It is very good. I've been using it for a really long time. I've tried a lot of different ones because I have a lot of veins. I have a lot of darkness under my eyes. I really should not have put on my necklaces already because I also use a little bit of it right here because I have like a little culmination of green veins right there. Okay, just blending this in easily, lightly, no big deal. All right, next up, essential step to the summer stay all day heat-proof, sweat-proof makeup, loose translucent powder. This is the Laura Mercier. You've seen it a million times if you've ever been on YouTube. It's just so good, and I can attest to that. And I just use a tiny bit of this on my big fluffy brush and I go over my whole face. I've actually made a whole video about doing this. It was years and years and years ago, and I've done it on and off since then. Not only does it help your skin stay matte, it adds a little coverage to your foundation. I mean, it doesn't make you like cakey or anything, but just adding that very, very light coat of powder over your face, it works wonders. You've got to trust me. I know it goes against many things we've been taught our whole lives about makeup. Just try it, okay? And this is the one that I love the most to do it with. Okay, going in with my foundation, this is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. I have it in number 440, but I actually have a whole collection of them because I love this foundation so much. I've talked about it in the past. This is more of like a medium but buildable foundation. And this is what I've been wearing like 90% of the time for the past few months, maybe even longer. But in the past, I've done a bridal look, actually my own bridal makeup, and it was a heat-proof look. I actually wore it on my wedding day, but I also did a video, you might have seen it, and that is very much a heat-proof look as well, but I did it with the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation because this one is just amazing. It is so, so, so good, but it is heavy, major coverage, and not everyone will like that for an everyday look. So this one is an amazing alternative. It isn't as bulletproof as this one, but it's a more approachable everyday kind of like girl next door, hot girl summer look. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Anyway, so I use a little bit of that and I'm just dotting it on. I've got a few little like issues on my face right now. They're all healing, but they're all still pretty red. I do bring my foundation down my neck. I think I got too much foundation. Wow, wouldn't be the first time. And now I'm just using a flat top brush like this, and I'm just kind of stamping it everywhere. That gives you the most coverage, but the other motion I really like is like this, kind of dragging it down. Okay, I feel like I should mention, this is a foundation that I wore to Disney World. I went in July with my husband and it was hot, it was humid, it was disgusting. But a lot of you guys on Instagram saw photos. You're like, how do you not look disgusting and miserable and melted? Well, I pretty much was. This makeup really impressed me. I wore it every single day and I really liked it. Next up for concealer, I'm using the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the color Custard Medium 1. You guys have seen this on my channel before. It is just a really good concealer. It's more of like a cream and it just does a really, really good job covering redness, healing spots, zits. I typically use it with this kind of like big blurring concealer brush. Do they even call it that? Yes, blurring concealer brush from Smashbox. It doesn't apply too much product at once and it also helps to blend it in pretty quickly and pretty seamlessly, which I really, really like. But in the case that something is really, really red or it's like a huge zit, my technique is just to get a little bit on my finger and then go in with the brush at the perimeter and blur it out. You get so much coverage with this with barely any product. So for my next concealer, oldie goodie, favorite of my life, this is the Tarte Double Duty Beauty Shape Tape Concealer. I really just use this under my eyes. I try not to use too much and I try not to get it up towards the lash line. This is a concealer you could totally go around your face and put it on the high points, put it down your nose, just to kind of brighten things up. I don't really like to do that, especially when I'm trying to do like an all day bulletproof, heatproof, sweatproof makeup, just because I don't really feel like this concealer on different points in my face, because I used to do that like every day, holds up as well as just the foundation. And really it's just adding another really thick layer of product to your face that can end up not being very flattering if you're having a long day. Okay, going back in with my translucent setting powder from Laura Mercier. I'm just using a little tiny bit under my eyes. I go in really, really quick under my eyes because I don't want my concealer to start creasing up, but I try not to use too much powder because it's just not a good look for me. I definitely never jumped on the whole no powder on my face train. Like that is not a trend for me. I'm an oily girl. Powder was made for me. It was made for this face. All right, now this face is looking very pale, very bland, very boring, and I need to spice it up with some bronzer, blush, all the good things in life. This is from NARS and I'm using the Casino Bronzer. Do you see that? It looks real dark, especially for my skin tone. But believe it or not, it works. I actually really love all of the colors in this palette and I've used them a good deal. I'm gonna use this blush and this bronzer just to let you see it. Bronzer was like the first makeup product I ever used when I was in high school that I was like, makeup is magic. And here I'm just going under the cheekbones, but I'm also kind of going on top a little bit. So it's a little bit of like an all over tan and it's not like a, you know, sculpted contour look. I'm also using it under my jawline. I used to totally preach against using bronzer for contour. Clearly I'm over that. It is a good idea not to use a bronzer that's too warm, but I don't think it matters that much, honestly. I also go over my nose and really just like kind of all over the place. Very blended, very all over, nothing sculpted whatsoever. That is just not a look that looks good on me at all. I already feel like I have like a pretty like bony, structured face body situation. I don't really need any help in that department. And so trying to soften it up. Ooh, I forgot to contour my nose. I'm gonna do that really quick. I'm using the Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder in medium. I've had this forever and ever and ever. It is pretty expensive. I used to not contour my nose because I thought that it only made my nose look worse. That's still honestly debatable in my mind, but I've started doing it again. And I just do it really, really lightly. Yes, no? Can you see a difference? Probably not. I'm like very, very conservative with it because I don't want it to be like harsh, like I said. So next up for blush, the color is Bounty. It is a hyper orange coral blush and I just go to town with it because I love it. You know, I don't really feel like this blush has like mega staying power. It is good, it does stay on, but by the end of the day, it's pretty much gone. So if you have a favorite blush that stays on through the day, not only let me know in the comments, but go for that one. unless you just really love this color like I do. I also go over the nose like so, just a little bit everywhere. Why not? For my highlighter, I'm using the Wet n Wild Bloom Time highlighting powder, and this is one I've had for a long time. I'm pretty sure it's still out in the world. It's from the drugstore, it's affordable, it's very nice, and it makes an impact. Like, you kind of have to be careful with this one. There we go. Can you see that? Yeah, it happens real fast. You kind of have to be careful. And I kind of just go crazy with that. If you're like me and your glow just develops over time naturally, you don't really need that much. Okay, now it's time for brows. I have fluffy, unruly brows. If you watched my last video, you saw I did 4 different, very strange, very out there brow techniques. Oh no, oh no, oh no. To try to tame my brows, because just my whole life, my brows have just like stood off my face. They don't lay down for anything. No brow gel, no hairspray, no nothing. So many people in the comments of that video told me to trim my eyebrows. It drove me crazy. I've tried that. I've tried everything. And one of the techniques that I tried that I actually really liked, and a lot of you guys said that you liked, was the soap brow technique. And it's something I've been playing with. I think I like it, so we're gonna do it today. The lash glue brows were also quite interesting, and I do think that I kind of had a good brow going right at the end of the video. The second attempt for the lash glue brows, just go watch that video. It goes on and on. I even got Grant in on it. His reaction was priceless. Next up, just to fill in my brows and get them a little bit darker, I'm using the Urban Decay Brow Blade in the color Taupe Trap, and I'm just using the ink stain side, so it almost kind of looks like a liquid eyeliner, but it's not. It's for your brows. It's so you can create really fine hair-like strokes. I probably do not do it as carefully as I should, but I like the effect. Someone in the comments of the eyebrow video related to my eyebrow struggle, saying they had the same kind of fluffy brows that kind of just stand off your face. And anytime you use a product like this one, or a pencil, or really a lot of different brow products, they just kind of go right onto your skin and they don't go onto your brows, and your brows hang off of your face, and it creates kind of an uncanny valley effect. And that is the perfect way to put it. That's why I love you guys. That is exactly what I meant by saying my eyebrows were eerie. Okay, the brows definitely came out a little crazy. It all depends on my mood. Obviously, I already have lash extensions, so I don't really do a lot of mascara or anything. If I didn't have lash extensions, my lashes would be going like this, and I would need to curl them like 8 times and then use waterproof mascara to keep them curled. So now we're just going into eyeshadow. This is the palette that I use almost all the time. I love it so much. It's the Viseart Neutral Matte 17M palette. I just have one loose one right here. I really need to like super glue it in, but for day to day, I just go into this light peach shade and I go over my lid with my finger. It doesn't have a mirror, so that's very annoying. But I just go over my whole lid just to try to cover up any veins that are still hanging out, because I have very veiny eyelids. And then for a little bit of color on my eyes, I go in with this darkest peach color, and this is my main color of eyeshadow. I'm just not that into eyeshadow lately, and I just want to go with something kind of light and fresh, more so just a wash of color. Luna has joined the party. I pretty much go all over the lid and up into the crease and just make it really, really blend it out. You could definitely do this with blush. You could definitely do it with this blush, and I have. I also go in and bring it under my lower lash line a little bit. Typically, this is the most eyeshadow I do other than my little wing. I'll show you that in a minute. But since I'm going somewhere tonight, I know this kind of defeats the purpose of doing like an everyday summer makeup look, but I just want to jazz it up just a little bit. You'll be surprised how unjazzy it really is. I'm gonna go in with the color Freckle from the Natasha Denona Biba palette. This is the other palette that I use the most. So basically, when I use eyeshadow, I use the most ridiculously expensive eyeshadow. I don't know why. How did I fall into this trap? I resisted it for so long. But unfortunately, all eyeshadow is... What just happened? No. I can't believe that just happened. I was just about to say, all eyeshadow isn't created equally. And then this black sort of shimmery shade from the Biba palette just hopped out into my lap. That has never happened before, and it wasn't the whole pan. It was just like the little square of eyeshadow. Ah, I'm pissed. Wow, I can't believe that happened. Okay, officially not recommending this palette. Never mind about everything. I'm just using a little bit of like a darker orangey brown for the outer corner. I'm honestly so mad. Can you tell? Has to be the expensive palettes that just fall apart in your hands as you're recommending them. Okay, there we go. Don't want to go overboard, even though I am. Goodbye. Moving right along. I'm going back into the Viseart palette. I mean, honestly, look at these colors. It's warm, neutral colors. Yes, these are very blendable. Yes, these are very useful. It is a very nice all-in-one palette, but like, you've seen all these colors before. I bet you anything, you have a palette in your house, in a drawer, somewhere, somehow, all the same colors. So I'm just saying, you don't have to go out and buy a super expensive palette to do this makeup, obviously. So I'm just going in with the dark matte black and a little tiny half circle brush like this. And I'm adding a little bit of a soft shadow wing. This is what I love to do because I have like almost hooded eyes. And I also have these big old crazy lash extensions. And so I don't want to add any more heaviness to my eye. And I don't want to take away any lid space that I have. So I try to make it really soft and really small. No big deal. Can you see it? It's there. And the last thing I do with this palette is I go in with my pinky finger in the lightest color. It's like an off-white, but very, very light color. And I go into my inner corner. This is kind of just like the base. Sometimes it's the only inner corner highlight that I do, but today it's just kind of the base. Sometimes I go over my nose a little bit. I don't think it does anything, but I do it anyway. And then I go in with the Balm Mary Luminizer. I always say it wrong. And then I go back in with that super strong pinky and add just a little bit more. You can also add just a little bit under your brow and call it a day. All right, and the last thing that I need for my eyes is a little bit of the Pixi Lash Lift Mascara. I use the little tiny wand and I add it to my lower lashes. And a wee tiny bit to the tips of my lash extensions. Not supposed to do it, but I don't live by your rules, not your rules, anyone's rules. And last, I just need to do my lips. I have this Laura Mercier lip liner in Rosewood and, you know, doing the usual thing. Oh, I have like a weird blade of light on me. How long has that been there? Why didn't you guys tell me? For my lip color, I'm using the ColourPop Just to Tint in the color The Strand. If tagging people on Instagram so that they would see a product was like beating their door down, people beat my door down when this was released. And I had actually put in my order the day they were released because just like you, I was hoping that this would be a good dupe for the Revlon Balm Stain, my poor, sweet, innocent lip color I've used for so many years that is now discontinued. Sadly, it is not a dupe. I do like it though. It is a good product aside from any kind of comparison. It is a good product. I have been using it. I have one other color, but I really like this one and I think it will look good for today. It's definitely like an easygoing kind of lip product. It doesn't have any staining qualities. And I don't really like the scent. This is just my mini review. The scent is kind of like, it's like very, very fruity bubblegum, like big bubblegum that like fills up your mouth and you're actually supposed to like blow bubbles with it. It's not my favorite, but it's also not a deal breaker. As you can see, I like it. It's a good color, but I pretty much put it on and then kind of wipe it off a little bit. It's definitely a heavier product than the Balm Stain. I hate to compare everything to the Balm Stain, but you guys asked if it was a dupe, and sadly, it isn't. Finished look, microwave. I don't know why you need to see the back of my head. Ding. I will put the details and I'll put links for everything I can find in the description in case you're curious and you want to check anything out. Definitely subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet and you want to subscribe. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Hit the bell for notifications. You can also find me on social media everywhere. It's LeighAnnSays and I love to talk to you guys over there. I really appreciate you guys watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye everyone. It's about to get covered up with conditioner. Conditioner? What was I even talking about? I don't know. I'm out of breath. This brow got real mad real fast. The brows are a work of progress. What?